I think I got it started. Okay, hi guys. This is my first video. I'm gonna be a little nervous because I've never done this before. Been a regional flight attendant for 2 years. I've never thought, well, I've always thought about blogging. I just never did it. Um, you're gonna see me looking at my little notes here. And you know what? What's funny about these notes? This is a government of Canada paper saying that it says a notice of non-compliance, but I thought, oh my God, what's going on? You know, I don't want to be in another country and not be in compliance. But it was because my passport went in scanned. So it happens if, you know, once the computer kicks you out, it doesn't want to rescan your passport. And so they have to give you something. And that's something that they're doing now with the pandemic going on. That's what brought me here, though, the pandemic, the differences and the changes that we all as flight attendants have been going through since this thing has come along. My little bun is looking a mess. These braids are old, by the way, so please don't mind me. I'm gonna take my hair down as soon as this trip is over with, but hey, you know how it goes with these braids. Try to hold on to them. They're protective styles as far as I'm concerned. But let me introduce myself and tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Brittany Sherrill. I'm a regional flight attendant, and I have been flying for 2 years, I'm gonna say flying for 2 years starting December the 6th. It would have actually been 2 years if I counted November, because that's when I started class in 2018. But once I started actually getting on the line, it was like December the 6th. So I got a couple more days to 2 years, I'm gonna say that. But I guess that's my anniversary date is what they hired me at. So yeah, I fly with a regional company, and which means we really just go in certain spots or whatever. We're really around the East Coast. I've been to Omaha, a little further over. Right now, nice thing about right now is I am in Toronto, but seeing that it's the pandemic, we can't go outside. Let me show you. It's very snowy here. I don't think I'm missing out on too much of nothing though. If you come here, you got to stay in your room. The lady sat downstairs. I think that was really, really, really cool. There's nothing going on, bunch of snow. They are going on lockdown at 12 o'clock. She said 12:01, it'll be a lockdown going on. I'm like, dang, okay, that's crazy. So with that being said, I said this would be the perfect time to blog. I mean, I'm sure there's lots and lots of flight attendants. I'm actually watching one of my favorite flight attendants. Her name is Carrie. I think I'm gonna send her a shout out. She is on my TV right now. Hey, Carrie. Hey, girl. I think she's over at Mainline, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm inspired by her. I like her a lot, but it's a lot of y'all on there. I do watch, and it's gonna be a little ghetto. I don't have like nothing holding my phone up, so I'm just gonna put it against the light post up here. Y'all, I'm tired. As you can see, I have the mommy bags going on. I have natural bags under my eyes, but these are a little extra today because I am tired. We got up at like 4 this morning, and we were done early, but still doesn't kill the fact that you tired, right? So we came from Omaha this morning and went to Charlotte, and then from Charlotte we came here to Toronto, which would have been beautiful. I mean, it's still beautiful, which would have been nice if we could kind of go outside. But anyway, this is my introductory to blogging. I'm 31. I have 2 babies. I already told you I've been flying for 2 years, and let's just talk about my first year. It was a good first year. It was something new. I was so happy. I didn't even know I was going to become a flight attendant. Someone kind of just brought it to my attention, and I call her my sister. It's one of my best friends' wife. She was mainline American, and she came to me and she was like, you know, I think you'd be a cute flight attendant. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, when you hear a flight attendant and seeing what type of job it is, it just sounds like when you're scared. I'm not gonna say when you're not looking for something. When you're scared, it's just like, oh, flight attendant. It's like, oh my God, like it'll be too hard. They'll never pick me. And voila, here I am. so far, I feel like it has been the best decision I have made in my life. I have got to see some things here in the U.S. And a lot of people say, oh, why would you want to be a regional flight attendant? You guys don't go nowhere. Yeah, we don't work anywhere, which is fine. I don't want to. I personally don't want to work where the party is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can get off work, vacation, or if I got several days off, and I can go hang out if I want to, or fly to wherever I want to. So that's fine. I don't too much care for party. You know, I'm getting too old now. I'll be trying to take naps. And actually, I planned on coming in here, shooting this video in my natural light, you know, and I went to sleep. And it was beautiful outside earlier. It was like 2 o'clock. It was beautiful lights and stuff. I was like, I'm just gonna sit in my room and I'm gonna sit down and I'm just gonna make my first video. And next thing you know, I was doing some research on some stuff and I was knocked out. So when I woke up, I was like, if I don't do this now, I'm not gonna do it. And what better place to do it in Toronto? This is my second time here. First time I was here, I was pregnant with my son. So I was like, not feeling it, okay? Like jet lag, waking up early in the morning, being on the go and being a reserve flight attendant did not mix with pregnancy, because you already know your body is drained when you're carrying a child. So I ended up going to my room and going to sleep. And another thing that kind of sealed the deal as far as me going out and trying to have fun, it was like 10 degrees here. Oh my God. You see, now it's snowing. I think that was in December when I came here, 2018, I think, in my first year. So, yeah, my first year, I graduated in December. I got my wings in December. I started class in November, graduated in December, received my wings in December. And I felt like I graduated from high school again. You remember when you graduate from high school, you just like, oh, this is the best day of my life, not realizing you have so many more best days of your life coming, right? Yeah, so that's how it was for me, and I was just like, okay, this is cool. My 2 siblings came out to see me. We were really close-knit siblings, but 2 of them came, and it just meant the world to me at that time. And I went from there. I went on the line, and I got, to learn some new things. I jumped right into reserve. Reserve is pretty much you do what we say do. And I say that because like they give you a reserve schedule, which just say you'll be on call these days, whether it's 4 or 5 days, 3 or 4 days, however they line it up, and they call you and they like, hey, go to gate blah blah blah, you're going to blah blah blah, thank you. And that's what you do. You just sit and you sit somewhere near the airport, or you kind of rearrange your life. You have a little temporary place to stay, and they call you and you have to get there you have 2 hours to get to the airport and just show up and execute these trips, right? So that was my life at first, and at the time I was in a relationship, so I was coming back and forth. We would spend a little time together. I think once I got out of training, a lot of women can vouch. You come up out of that training, you've been gone, stuff needs to be caught up on. And I ended up carrying my son, which is fine. He's 1 now, and it's hard. Oh my God. I have a daughter, she's 8, and she is like a little lady. She takes care of herself pretty much, and she can call me and be like, hey mom, this is what happened in my day, or mom, let me tell you what happened. And she's so independent. And I was just saying to myself, when I was 29, I'm like, I'm about to turn 30. I got 1 daughter. Me and her are going to travel the world. We're going to go some places. I'm gonna be able to show my daughter things that a lot of people can't show their kids. And I was very happy about that. And then I got pregnant. I was like, oh my God, what is this gonna do to me as in my career? I'm not going to lie, it has been several struggles, but I have pushed through regardless of what the problems was. Yeah, so with that being said, so far I've only taken my baby on 2 trips, but my little girl, we have gone everywhere. Before I became a flight attendant, I still am to this day. I don't mind it if I get a good partner with me. I'm a road tripper. now that I've been flying, I'm just like, ooh, when I get in the car. Like recently I drove to Chicago and I was looking so crazy when I got there. So yeah, my first year reserve, I got pregnant. Oh my gosh, I started to get sick. Morning sickness, like I said, morning sickness, jet lag, pregnancy, tiredness, hormones, all of that stuff will weigh down on you. But I mean, I saw a lot of pregnant girls that were flight attendants, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna be able to do this. And I started pushing through. But then my body kind of said, nah, this is not what I want to do. And I started fainting. Like I was getting so tired. It's almost like I wasn't taking care of myself. But I was. I felt like I was. But everybody's different. Every pregnancy is different. So my first year was more so carrying, becoming a flight attendant with all these challenges, right? Carrying a baby, being on reserve, um, changing my body, changing, me still learning. Okay, so the next year, my little bundle of joy was born in October. I went on another journey. And these are all things I'm going to make separate videos about. We can, if you have any questions, you can send me some questions and we can talk about me being pregnant as a flight attendant. And I'm going to write down things as I go because I might be coming up with ideas, kind of bouncing off of myself. And we can talk about nursing as a flight attendant, which I did. And that was one of my, oh my God, me graduating from airline ground school did not touch me successfully delivering milk to my infant after being gone on 3 and 4 day trips. It's work. You pump. You have to make sure you store it correctly. You have to make sure you're in a clean environment. Before the pandemic hit, I was, I had my antibacterial wipes and stuff like that anyway. So I'll be wiping down surfaces. I will pump anywhere on the plane, like anywhere. This was before, and I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I felt like I was being as careful as I could with my Clorox wipes. I had unlimited Clorox wipes in my big luggage, and I would just take them out, wipe down everything that I could possibly think of that's going to be in that vicinity of me pumping. I will pump, and I will ice everything. I will put it in a bag full of ice. The bag will be full of ice inside of my lunch bag. I will put it at the bottom of the bag with the ice on top in the 2 heavy-duty plastic bags tied in a knot. Literally push it down in there, and it stayed like, it got to the point where my bag used to get so cold the milk would turn into slush. And that was that's fine. That's just letting you know it's cold enough. So that was great. I think that was one of my biggest accomplishments. When I do that video, would share a picture of my first day home. I was so excited or whatever. I think my son's dad took that picture of me. Yeah, I came home one day and I was just like, no, first of all, you gotta carry your bags and stuff. We carrying bags all day, and he was carrying my bags upstairs, and he said, oh, you didn't eat your food. And I'm like, I did eat my food. And he was like, why is your lunchbox so heavy? And I'm like, that's your son's food. I had to pump, you know what I'm saying? And it was so heavy. It was like bricks and bricks and bricks of milk, and I was so happy. I was so happy with myself. And that was one of those moments where you like, oh, I'm gonna be okay mom. This is gonna be okay, because I was scared having a new child flying and everything. So that was so, as like I said, as I'm going along, I'm just writing down ideas. Pregnant as a flight attendant, nursing, and it's so crazy. I went searching for women online that nurse, that's flight attendants. I read a couple articles, but these were obviously people I obviously couldn't get in contact with, and like in articles on the internet. And I was actually online, like asking people, hey, is there any nursing flight attendants here? Are there any pregnant flight attendants here? Nobody really answered, and I thought that was kind of weird. So I do want to push more information out there as far as nursing, as far as carrying a child during the flight attendant stage. The reasons why I made the decisions I made, and the reasons why I didn't make certain decisions. It was a couple of girls I met, and they were just like, oh, I'm done as soon as I have the baby. And I'm like, but they have been flying way longer than me. They are like 4 and 5 years in. Understandable, if that's what they thought was best or whatever, but financially it wasn't best for me. So I had to make some decisions. I had to put some things in place. I had to call some people and reach out for help as far as the babies. And then let's not forget, this pandemic comes. A lot of people do not want to take your children in because you're flying and they're coming in contact with you. And I make it my business to stay healthy on my trip. A lot of people just, oh, this mask. Every time I think about not wanting to wear this mask, every time I just be like, no, I can't, because I can't go home sick to these kids, or I can't be gone this long and try to go home or can't go home because I have to quarantine. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I try to stay as serious about this thing as possible because people are getting sick. What if it's mild to me, but what might be mild to me might be detrimental to my babies, and I don't want to risk that. So we're talking about my first year. Like I said, my first year started in pregnancy, ended in a bundle of joy. My baby was born a month before I hit my anniversary. He was born in October. And then I was on, my official maternity leave, and I came back in February to recurrent. And recurrent is just like a tester. Your yearly testing. Hey, let's just make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. Let's just make sure you're still compliant. Let's just make sure you are able to fly another year without any issues. And I went to that, and I was so scared. Oh my gosh, I was so scared because I left and I had a baby, and it was a lot of things. You just gotta get out there, and it's like a repetition. You have to keep doing it for it to kind of flow for you. I am not afraid to ask another flight attendant a question. A lot of people will look on you get your tablet, which, hold on. Do I have my tablet in me? Let me grab my tablet. It might be in my coat pocket, actually, or it might be in my sweater. I'm gonna get up and see. Hold on 1 second. This thing is roaming because we're in Toronto. When I first came to Toronto last year, when I was carrying my son, I had another carrier, and they did not work up here. But I came up here this time, and my carrier works. So I'm like, yay, I can kind of text people and all that stuff, and receiving all of my notifications and stuff. At first it was like, oh, I can't talk to anybody. Excuse me. Another thing about traveling, you have to keep water on deck. I have one in here and one right here. I try to drink, so that means you're gonna be peeing a lot. You're gonna be spending a lot of time in the lab, but you get so dry in the air. You don't want to be walking around here dehydrated. And that was part of my problem when I was carrying my son too. I was very dehydrated. I didn't drink enough water. And when I thought I drank enough water, it still wasn't enough water. What? Oh, so we were talking about my tablet. So I was going to say, most of the time people look on their tablet and they see someone that's more senior than them and they get nervous. Not me. I'll be like, oh, thank God. Especially when I'm going through some changes. I haven't flown in a while. So I actually like to see them come in because I can ask them questions. They're more seasoned. It's only you, by us being regional flight attendants, it's only you and them in the back. It's not like on the big Airbus. It'd be like 4 of them on there, and they just be having, good conversation. It's 4 different minds they can bounce off of with the little, I like to call them the baby jets. I'd be like, I'm the baby jet girl. That's, you get on the big Boeing and then you have to go to a small town and you get on that little baby jet. That's us. I like to be on there. But the thing about them is only holds 2 flight attendants, and then so it's like a 4-person crew. You got your FO, your captain, me, and the other person. And like I said, it's not that many people to bounce off of, but I ask a lot of questions regardless. And a lot of times when you take a break, aviation changed so much. You feel like you're brand new when you come back, but it's okay. It's okay. I have a lot of people that say, oh, I worked with so and so and so, and she was just a mess. And I'm just like, I like everybody. not like everybody, but I have got along with everybody enough, to it's just a mutual understanding. Hey, we're here to make sure these people are safe. That is it. That is all. I haven't had anybody that was just like, oh, I don't too much. I can't. I'm not really feeling you. I actually did, and they weren't even working a flight with me. So I'm like, relax. You're gonna be okay. You're just deadheading. And deadheading is when you're riding a plane as a passenger, but you're getting paid. You're either going home or you're going to another destination to work a flight out of there. Okay, so let's talk about my second year. We just hit the second year, right? So this second year going in has been absolutely different. So I start my first year in a regular year of aviation. I get pregnant. Woo. And it was a little difficult. I come back the next year and we're in a pandemic. Actually, I came back at the edge of the pandemic when they actually like announced it. At first, it was like, oh, there's a virus going on, and then February came, and by March, it was like full blown kicking up. So I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I was absolutely terrified. I was like, I breastfeed, and they were saying this at the time they weren't too educated about what the virus was, so it was all types of things. Oh, it's living on surfaces. It could contaminate food. Just a lot of different inputs on what the virus was and what it could do. And I was like, I can't do this. I'm so afraid. My baby is young at the time. He is like very much so handheld. He's walking around talking now, but at the time I was like, oh no. And I'm his main source of food. So I went to my company and I just talked to them, and it was like, we're going to send you on like a lactation, leave. And I successfully got to breastfeed my child until the time I wanted to stop. He only spent three months on formula, and if I had it my way, he would never had it. But I was proud of myself because, once again, different strokes for different folks. And I was with my daughter. I was so stressed out. It was like it was kind of messing with my milk production. So I ended up not finishing out breastfeeding with Farrah. And then when I got my son, I was just like, I'm gonna try to go as long as I could, and I would have if I didn't work, if I didn't have to go back to work. But it was great. It was great. I gave him everything I had, as far, even when I started to dry up, if it was still there, I gave it to him. He could drink a little bit of that, and then we'll go to the formula bottle. By the time he was coming off the boob, he was eating food. He's really, really hungry. He didn't really stress too much about food or whatever he likes. He liked real food. He really didn't like baby food, for real. I want to try to pull this chair up. Excuse me. Here we go. So that was my first year, and here we are. We're in the pandemic. One thing that I've learned in the pandemic is not everybody feels the same way about this thing that we're going through. Some people like it's a joke and it'll be gone in a minute. But this has been going on for a minute now. We're talking about, I told you it really started affecting things in March. We're almost in the next year. I had a birthday dinner in March. We were all scared to go out because we hadn't really got any word, about it. It was like a week before they actually like announced all of the craziness or something. And that was like the last time me and all my friends really got together for real, for something for me. We ended up going to a very small get together for a friend after that, but it was, it was for her. But it's like, as far as me like getting together with a bunch of my friends and stuff like that, it was different. We really didn't and couldn't do anything, but we enjoyed dinner, and that was fine enough for me. I had just had the baby, so I wasn't trying to go too crazy. Yeah, so what I was saying, like, a lot of people don't see it, the same way. Some people just like, oh, whatever, I'll keep my mask off, and everybody is cracking down on these masks. Like, you have to wear your mask. I totally understand if you feel like you're not going to catch it, and you might not catch it, and then it's so sad because some people out here that's doing everything they can do, and they're still catching it. and it's very upsetting, to some people. I have elderly that are still getting on the plane and traveling, and that one person would be next to them not want to put their mask on, and they're like, oh my god, like they're like giving me that eye look. And you have to address it at the end of the day. There's no, I mean, they have it everywhere. It's in the announcements, it's online when you buy your tickets, all of that stuff. So I just hope that it's getting better. Last time I was here, it seemed like they were still testing the waters, but since I've been back lately, it's been fine. It's been good. I don't have to keep reminding anybody. I think people are starting to see that it's a little more serious, or they just don't want to get put on a no-flyers list, because that's what will happen. Please don't get put on a no-flyers list because you don't want to wear your mask. Like, it's very important. Let me see, what else should we talk about? So like I said, my first year coming back, and then we have the pandemic. Now I'm just working my way through it. I've had some situations and some downfalls myself this year, as everybody has, that has been due to the pandemic. And I just pray for everybody. I hope that everybody's working it out, everybody's getting through, and everybody's making it through. I literally pray. I said prayers for my siblings on the plane today, and all my loved ones, and people that are not my loved ones, because this thing is, it's really taking a toll on a lot of places. Like right now, we're in Toronto, we're in a whole nother country, and they feel the same way every other place feels, to be in another country, and these people they're locked down, and it's snowing outside. I thought I was going to be able to get out a little bit, just to walk around. But some people were hating on Toronto. They said, Montreal is where you want to be. And I was just like, one thing I do want to do, since I've been here and I've just been listening to people, is learn French. I have to. I think I'm going to download me an app on my phone so I can learn French, and I can learn me a second language. Spanish is like the #1 language, of course, but I've been so intrigued by French. I'll learn two languages. That's fine. It makes it better for me, as far as a flight attendant, to kind of communicate with other people. Like today, it was a lady, she was speaking in French. We were on our way over here, and she was trying to tell me she needed help with her seatbelt. So I just kind of had to look at her hands, and she kept doing this and whatever. She needed some help, an older lady, and I have a soft spot for the elderly, period. I just lost my grandmothers only like a year apart. I think my grandma Clara passed in like 2017, and then my other grandma passed in 2019. So I miss them dearly, and when I see you guys, elderly, grandmothers, mothers, aunties, friends, these people are people, and they have family members too. I treat them with the respect I would have gave my grandmothers. I never knew my granddads, but those women, my grandmothers, they got the utmost respect for me, and I would never disrespect somebody's grandparents, period, ever. So that's very important to me. If an elderly person asks me for help, I remember this one lady, she was just so scared, and okay, that first seat on the plane, you never really have a lot of space to put your stuff. So she was so scared someone's gonna take her purse and stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna put it up here with my purse, And we were just having conversation, and when she got off the plane, she said, "Thank you so much for being so kind to me." And I'm like, "You're welcome." I said, "That's the only thing I know how to do." And then another flight attendant got off, and she was like, "You were so gentle with that woman. That warms my heart." I have a soft spot for the old people, y'all. I do. I love them, and I try to give them. One day we're gonna be old. I'm not far from it. No, but it's gonna come really fast, and one day you're gonna want that same respect. I don't want to disrespect. I'm gonna try to keep my videos at about 30 minutes or a little bit more. So I see that my video is coming to about 29 minutes. I've been sitting here babbling. This was my introductory video. So if you have any questions, just write me on here. I'll write them down, and I'll do my videos accordingly to what people are asking me to do. Once again, my name is Brittany Sherrill. Thank you for sitting with me through this time. This conversation might have been bored, but like I said, this was my introductory. I hope to get a little fun going in the future. I'm going to start blogging more. So this is going to be my new hobby. Thank you for tuning in, and God bless. Like I said, send me any questions you have, any requests for videos, and it doesn't have to just be about aviation. It could be about different things. Like I'm really going to talk about lactation during being on the line and flying and all those things. Thank you once again, and God bless. Mwah.